Good afternoon, my friends. It's been a long time since I've come on a live. It's not that I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. It was just that I've been doing a lot of different things. What I want to talk about today is the homelessness. People who know me know that this has been something that has concerned me for most of my life. When I was young and living in Williams Lake, I had a friend who would take in people who had nowhere to go on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Her name was Barb King, and she actually opened my eyes to being kind to people and sharing tradition with them. It was just peeling some potatoes and carrots and cooking a turkey. And, how much does that cost you? You can feed lots of people with those 3 items. But anyway, she opened up my eyes years and years and years ago. And I'm 61 now, and I was probably 18 when I met Barb. Barb had her demons, but you know what? At the end of the day, she still gave to her community. And other people followed her footsteps. I opened up my mom's home to people who didn't have the same privileges as we did growing up. I'd bring them home for supper, and my mom would say, "How many more plates do we need? Mom, today is 5." But my mom never said no. She always made sure that everybody ate. And so, she volunteered to feed these people where she could have told me no. I can't afford to feed them, but she always made sure that they left with food in their belly. So as I got older, I started seeing more and more homelessness, and especially in northern parts of provinces, you see a lot of people who have problems with alcohol and drugs, and they're not as educated as the southern parts of provinces because the resources aren't readily available for them. And southern parts of provinces seem to be structured a lot differently than the northern parts of provinces. And, we can't blame anybody for that. It's how the bands decide to run their bands, and it's how the community accepts the people in it. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about today. But it is. But I'm just kind of giving a little bit of whatever. So the last couple weeks, I've been driving through the district in Chinatown, just kind of getting a feel what's going on down there. The Hope Mission, they tore down a year and a half ago. So a lot of these people have no placement to go to. The Jameson Center is what they refer to as a MAT program. The lineups have changed there. The lineups, I see a lot of more different races standing in the lineups there. Before you'd see a lot of Indigenous people and white people and a few Chinese people. But when I went through the district last night, I seen so many different races and so many ranges of ages of people from, maybe 17 up to 75. And why? Well, that 75-year-old, you know why he was there? Because when his wife passed away, now his pensions does not cover his rent and his utilities and his food. He got evicted, and because he has limited understanding of the internet system, he ended up on the sidewalk and found himself downtown where people sleep. There's something wrong with our way our system is set up. This man will probably, he'll probably die down there. Winter's coming. Our government's pretty slow in finding seniors housing. They say they don't have any, yet they put crackheads and meth heads and all kinds of people into community housing who don't belong there or shouldn't be there, better to say. But it was really an eye-opener to see that these young people who you normally used to see on the street selling drugs are now in the lineup waiting for a mat, whacked out of their heads because now they're not selling the drugs anymore, they're using it. And there's people that were so stoned that they didn't know their head from their back to their top to their bottom. And they were just in a world all of their own. And I guess that's where you need to be if you're down there. You can't change homelessness. It'll always be there. Something will happen. I always say, you know what, you're 2 paychecks. You are 2 paychecks away from being homeless yourself. Imagine something happened in your life. We're all not rich. We don't have healthy bank accounts. So we generally can survive for about 2 months. When we get our eviction notice, you can't find anything because the cost of renting is atrocious. And you end up surfing on your friends' couches, if they allow you. And then you wake up one morning and there you are, you have nothing. You have your suitcase left. You've lost everything because you've been evicted. And I know people who this has happened to. They wake up, they have nothing but the clothes on their back and whatever they happen to grab on their way out the door. And try working with the government officials to try to get yourself situated in a place that you can afford. Good luck. And if you can get into one, like a government pension, $1,700, when the average apartment, 1-bedroom apartment in Edmonton itself, maybe if you're lucky, you get renting, you get your utilities included, is $1,100. And then you've got your cable and your phone on top of that, because you're just not going to sit in your place and stare at the 4 walls 365 days of the year. There's a problem here, and we all sit back and say it won't happen to me. Well, guess what? It will. I'm turning 62. I have 3 years to get my shit together, or else I'm going to be one of those people, because my bills exceed what the government's going to pay me. Yet they have no problem paying these young families an atrocious amount of money, and they're out there drinking, smoking, partying. The list goes on, where some poor senior is trying to make a living who's going to end up, if their family doesn't save them, are going to end up like that 75-year-old man in that suit with his cane and lost. It just makes me sad. Makes me very sad. And when we were driving yesterday, I said to Gary, some of those people, like, nobody wants to be homeless, but some people, mental health takes them to homelessness. And if I had the money what I'd like to see is not so much when they go to these places to sleep and get fed, they are told to take off their dirty clothes and put them in a bag, and they're given clean clothes. But you know what? They're not offered a shower. So wouldn't it be nice if they could go somewhere to sleep and at least be offered a hot shower to put on their new used clothing so they'll have something clean to wear tomorrow? And the other thing, when we're driving down there, everybody goes down there with blankets and clothing. And I mean, we've done that ourselves. And there is so much clothing laying on the side of the road and stuff. It looks like a garbage dump down there. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it just really infuriates me. Homelessness. Sad. And then you have people who do have places to live and they have no food because their limited funds that they do have coming in is paying their rent and their utilities, and they have nothing left for food. So they go to the food bank, they're given food for 3 days, and they have a family of, average family will say 4 people, if not more. How do you feed a family with 3 days supply of food and nothing left? Nothing left. Do you have nothing left to sell? You have nothing left. I guess you just need to sit back and be grateful for what you have today and pray that that doesn't become you when you get lost in the system. Anyways, I wish you all the best. Remember, kindness is what we all have to be, and less judgmental of others. And be humble. Have a great day.